Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. Hope you're having a good week. You won't need a flash today, just a short video. This wife's home soon, so yeah, we can't be rambling too much. Yeah, it's just a fairly short video. I'll just let you know what I like for Fairyhouse mainly, and we've got a 20-1 ante-post bet for Cheltenham as well. We'll just do that at the end. So I'm not going to preview all the big races or anything. I'll just rattle off the races that I'm interested in to be having bets or whatever. So the only race outside Fairyhouse I'm looking at is at Newbury tomorrow, the 1:15 race. The new line runs there for Dan Skelton. I thought he was just so impressive last time. Yeah, you got to respect the Nicky horse in this race. I think Nicky's horse, but the new lion, I just thought he was so impressive at Chepstow. You know, he just tracked Paul's horse. You know, just pulled him out, just bang on. But I've kind of drawn a line at like even money for this horse. I've got a little bit on at evens on Betfair, but that's my line. So I haven't got my full bet on him yet. And if it don't go, I'm fine with that. I can let him win without a full bet on at odds on. I just think with Nicky's horse in there, you've got to give him a bit of respect as well. But he'd be the selection there, the new lion. Right, the rest of it, it's all about Fairyhouse. Tomorrow, really interesting maiden hurdle and beginners. Just a watching brief for me on those races, but they look interesting. We'll cover them on Monday. We got the bumper, haven't we? I've ummed and ahed about this, you know, if to put this Marge Axel up or not. So add him to our squad. I'm not going to do it, and the reason being, I've got to mind this recycle bin of ours, you know. It's a bit fuller than I'd like. Now, the bumper tomorrow, I did have a little bit on it. 365 put him in at threes. This is why I went through a few accounts with him, like, you know, I don't know who puts these prices up, but then they cut him to twos. I had a small little bet, and I mean a small little bet, you know, we're talking like 20 quid, because I've got to look after that account. But I think he's 11 to 8 now, 11 to 10. I expect he'll go a shader odds on. But you know, I won't be backing him too short. Willie's got a horse in here called U-Proof. He came second to one of those thinking horses that went to Gavin's off that point-to-point list. It was 2.5 mile point-to-point. I know Patrick spoke highly of him. He gave him as one of his 5 to follow for the season. This is the best bumper run so far this season, it is. Now, on Sunday he can't dance as well. I think it's this Marge Axel I do. The way to play it is, like I've said a few times in it, you know, if you can do the cash out, you're backing both, and you're probably on at nice prices already. You know, you could have got like 33s and 20s for these, and then just play about with cash out after the weekend. You may end up losing a small amount on one of them, but I think that's the way to play it, really. You know, just putting up a selection straight for Cheltenham. You know, I'd hate to put up Marge Axel and he gets chinned by U-Proof, and then he can't dance, who I really like, just waltzes in tomorrow. Then I put the wrong one up, and so I'm not going to put him up. But if he goes in well tomorrow, I think you'll be looking at like maybe 5s or something for the bumper, you know. That's that race then. So no selection as such, you know. Um, I wouldn't want to be playing in sort of roundabout even money or anything like that. But so that's that race anyway. Now the rest of it's all about Sunday. Um, yeah, 12:30 we get to see Willie DeHoo, don't we? It'll be odds on. He's another one like you know. There's different ways to play the game, isn't there? He's one you want to be on like double figures really. And I mean he's 6-1 now. I can't put him up at 6-1. Yeah, he wins well. He'll probably be around 5-2. We'll just have to deal with that after it. I just can't put him up at 6-1 for an ante-post bet. But at the same time, I won't put you off if you fancy a gamble on it, like because if he does win well, I do think he could be like 5-2 or something. It's just Losimouth took this race out, didn't she? The same race. Now before she ran, she were like 12s. The bookies are just not playing Ollie. Same sort of thing with this horse, same sort of vibes. She were 12s before she ran. He's 6s. But I won't put you off at the same time. But they are robbing you a bit there, aren't they? They just. But you may well be quite happy with your 6-1 after the race, as a bet now. Tomorrow, at Sunday, just as a straight bet now. But it'd be interesting to see the guy. Then we get to the three big ones, don't we? This is what I mainly wanted to chat about. The 135, we got the Royal Bond. Now, with all respect to Willie, you do have to respect Willie, don't you? I think this is between Gordon's pair here, Romeo Coolio and Blue Devassi. Romeo Coolio's favourite for the Supreme, isn't he? And he's got a big chance here, he has. But we've been impressed with this Blue Devassi. I wouldn't like to take round about even money against a horse like Blue Devassi. I think the value lies with Blue Devassi here. I think he's worth a little play. You can get 4-1 best price. Maybe over the next sort of 24 hours or so, Romeo Coolio might get smashed up a bit. You might even get a bit better than 4s. But I won't get too greedy because I do feel like his SP you might be looking at more like 5-2. 4s is fine. I think for me I'm making it nearly a 2-horse race. It's like 2.5 horse race, isn't it, for me? So I think if you're getting 3-1 or better for Blue Devassi, I think that's a bit of value. The way I'm playing it personally is back Blue Devassi around 4s and have a forecast Blue Devassi to be second to Romeo Coolio to get your stake back. You can do that. That's the way I'd like to play that race, You just wondered, with him having the extra run, he's a little bit more hard fit Romeo Coolio. If they come to the last upsides, I think I'd rather be on Blue Devassi. If they come to the last and they're both off the bridle. Romeo Coolio could just put him away well, fair enough. For me, 4-1's a bit of value against the favourites, so that's the way I'm playing that. And like I say, you can protect yourself a little with having the forecasting to be second, to the favourite. 205, we got the Drinmore, as I mentioned, Heartwood here, I'm actually gone against all the favourites. Heartwood, 5 foxes here, in it 2.5. The ground's not bad. it's just a big ask after one run to be beating a 155 horse. Hartwood would probably prefer at this trip maybe a bit more digging the ground than there is. I think they're actually watering, you know. But still, it does take a bit of getting Fairyhouse. I just, yeah. I mean, to me, like Hartwood's a Ryanair contender and Firefox is an Arkle contender. At 2.5, you've got to back the Ryanair contender, I think, you know. Especially with all that extra experience. It's a big ask for a one race novice to turn over a 155 experienced horse who's not really a novice, is he? Like I say, it's wrong. So I'm with Hartwood here. You're getting 2-1 for him. You might get a smidgen more on Betfair. The bookies, again, they could come for Firefox initially. But I do think, again, you know, the late money, you know, sort of Sunday, late Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon, I think Hartwood will tighten up again and you'd be looking at, I think, less than twos for him. He might go off 7-4, 6-4 even. There might not be much in the prices on the off here. I wouldn't completely discount Gorgeous Tom either for Henry. So I fancy the Elliott forecast in the Royal Bond there, and I've had a very small reverse forecast with Gorgeous Tom and Hartwood here, you know. This is his trip, Gorgeous Tom, and this is his ground. He's the one that's got everything bang on. His jump-ins will have to stand up here. That would worry you. It's been a little bit iffy. Mainly fine, but, you know, in this Grade 1 company, I'm not quite sure if it'll hold up. But so everything's bang on for him. He's the third best horse, though, I think, you know. I think Hartwood, and I had a very small forecast, just Gorgeous Tom and Hartwood. But yeah, Hartwood's a selection there. And then, yeah, the big one, really, the 240, the Morgiana. Hatton's Grace, sorry, yeah. So I'm rushing through this a bit. I haven't got any notes today, just a few selections scribbled down. Yeah. Yeah, just the 4-horse race here. Gone for Lozzie here. You know, we like this horse. Now, we'll get the negatives out of the way first. Teapot, he's took out this the last 2 years. He downed Honeysuckle here, and then last year he downed Impera Pass. He'll be fairly straight for this, I'm sure, because we won't see him again till Cheltenham, will we? So he's going to have him fairly bang on for this, Gordon. And he'll have a bit of a fitness edge there, I feel, over Lossiemouth. They're the kind of negatives if you're siding with Lossiemouth. Right, the positives for Lossiemouth, look, she does go fairly well fresh, doesn't she? She's, you know, first time up last year, but he'd have probably had a straighter for that. But still, she's, you know, she's not like a big brute of a thing that's going to really need a run, like, you know. She will be conceding a bit of fitness here, though, I do feel, to Teapot, like. But, right, look at this simply, because the ground don't look like being too bad either, so it's not like going to be bottomless, I don't think. Which is going to play to her strengths, although she handles it fine. It's more like against Teapot, you know, because he'd want a stamina kind of test at this trip, I feel. So you look at the race, simplify it, right? You've got the favourite for the champion hurdle here against the favourite for the stayers hurdle. The meeting in between, she stays fine, you know, there's no stamina doubts. But she's just faster. I think she's faster, and I think we're going to see that here, you know. Now, I think Paul last year kind of set it up on Impera Pass 4 Teapot. think he'll be conscious not to make the same mistake here. We've got Maxim in the race, who's no bad horse, you know. I think he'll put the pace to the race. He could go fairly clear, maybe. I think Paul will just sit on Teapot's tail the whole race here. I think in his head he'll just sit on Teapot's tail, pull her out before the last, boom, gone. I think that's how I imagine he'd be seeing the race. So I think wherever Teapot is, I think she'll be just behind him, you know. Now, there's just a chance while Paul and Jack are playing cat and mouse here, you know, thinking back to that Mares Novice Hurdle last year. You know, they may get into a bit of a game of chicken here, like, you know, if that's how the race pans out. And it's like Jack might be, well, I'm not going after Maxim, you know, trying to force Paul to go first, like, you know. But, you know, we're getting into complicating it, over complicating it again, maybe, don't we, after last week. We'll just keep it simple, trust Paul will get it right. And yeah, Lossiemouth should be just too fast, I think, for Teapot. Now, she's 11 to 10 generally. That's well worth taking. I think these will flip-flop, and I think she'll go off around about 4 to 6. So I think that 11 to 10's a fine price for her. And that's pretty much that. Yeah, we got He Can't Dance in the bumper, haven't we? I like that horse. But yeah, we'll see how the Saturday bumper, I think, is the more the stronger race, and I think maybe the way Gordon's seeing it at the minute is Marge Axel is bumper horse, but He Can't Dance is second, and maybe there's not that much between them, which is why I just don't want to just put up the one. You know, I don't want to get it wrong. We'll just deal with it after. It's a shame, you know, if we didn't have two and we just knew it, there was Marge Axel, I'd go for Marge Axel, but I'm just, you know, we've got limited evidence, aren't we? So we're kind of guessing a little, and I just don't know. It's, you know, don't know for sure. So I'll be careful there. You know, I've got to protect us a bit with this recycle bin. And yeah, the ante-post bet then. Right, yeah, after thinking about everything this week, we're going for the Gold Cup, and it's just 1 point on Monty Star at 20s. The reason being, you know, looking at our sheet, looking at our squad, I think there's 5 possibilities in this Gold Cup. Some may disagree, but that's the way I see it, and I'm confident enough to sort of, it just makes sense when you look what we've got for this race in our squad. We've got Factor File on side at 12s. We've got Spillane's Toe on side at 40s, and we've got Corbett's Cross there at 20s. You can get a bit better on that now. So I'll make it between 5. We've got them 3, and we've got the prices. The other 2 is Galloping and this Monty Star. I think it's them 5. Because we got those other 3, we'll cover Monty Star while there's 20s, and then the way I see it, it's a bit like last year. It's a slight book approach to the Gold Cup. I think we've kind of covered all the angles in my mind anyway. We can get there, can't we? And even if Galloping's like 6 to 4 on the day, you know, you can smash into Galloping if you so like. You know, I think it's just the way it's fell with our bets. It makes sense to play it that way for me. The reason being with Monty Star, you know, we love this horse. We won at 50s, weren't we, last year? And his form's got a fair boost at the weekend, and he came second to Spillane's Tower and Factor File. And I think whereas like Factor File and Spillane's Tower, you'd hope they'd get the Gold Cup trip, and they may well do. I kind of feel more confident that Monty Starr will, even though he kind of lacks their maybe brilliance, if you like. You know, that real turn of foot that those have got. Those two have got like more speed, haven't they? He's maybe not got that class and speed of those two, but he jumps fantastic. That will keep him in the race. And I don't think this fella's ever really had a race completely run to suit yet. I think he wants a good test at 3 Mile. He didn't get that at Cheltenham, and he didn't get it at Punchestown. I think he's kind of made for a Gold Cup. And if those others kind of, you know, if say Spillane's Tower and Factor File don't quite get home, if Galloping, if it's like one battle too many, then, you know, we got the Corbetts cross, but this fella could be there, like, you know, to take advantage. I wonder this season how I'm thinking how he may campaign him, Henry. I wonder if we might see him in that, is it Tremor on New Year's Day? He may bring him back in that. You know, it'd be fairly impressive there, I'd imagine, and then maybe he'll go on to the Irish Gold Cup, where Henry, how he trains his horses, I doubt he'd be taking it out, so I think he could be impressive at Tranmere, and we're looking at sort of 8s, 10s after that. And then I reckon in the Irish Gold Cup he'll leave plenty to work on, but the race will suit him well. I'd expect him to run well there and maybe come sort of second or third. So then maybe his price will just ease out a little, like, you know, but I don't think it'll go back to the sort of 20s or bigger unless he's really well beat. And I don't think he'll be as good as these horses are. I think he'll run well there, like, you know, in an Irish Gold Cup. So at 20-1, yeah, we'll just have him for a point, and that race is sort of coming together really nicely on our sheet, like, you know. I mean, I'll play a bit more wild, like I say, you can use cash outs and stuff, so the likes of these Willie DeHoos and, you know, these Marge Axels and He Can't Dancers, but, you know, not everyone has the cash out options and stuff, so these, like, the bets I'm putting up for Cheltenham, I'm a bit more careful about, like, you know, than I sort of play completely myself, like, you know, I want to do well for us, like, you know, so, yeah, we'll just go with the 1 point there. And yeah, like I say, I can see that race just knitting together nicely for us, you know. Well, we'll see. It's the way to go, yeah. So that's that then. That's just my thoughts on Fairyhouse this weekend. If I'm giving you a nap, I mean, definitely be Fairyhouse Sunday. We got Blue Devassi 4s, Artwood 2s, Lossiemouth 11-10. They're all odds against at the minute. The nap would have to be Lossiemouth, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I think she'll just have too many gears for Teapot after the last, particularly if the ground don't get much softer, like, you know. So, right. Have a good weekend then. Best of luck to you all, and I will see you again Monday, and we'll have a good chat about it all. Okay. Thanks for your time. Bye.